Welcome to Main Street Moments and Beyond. This is Brian and Kathy. Kathy has some great news about Disney World and Universal Studios Orlando. I've heard none of it. So what's going on, Kathy?
Well, I wanted to do a show today. We weren't planning on doing one, but some news has come out.
Oh, that's good.
And there's a bunch of articles. I've posted all of them that I found in the Main Street Moments Facebook group, so you can read them for yourself. But this is the proposed things that, the governor has like a task force of business owners and things of people to open up the state.
Mm-hmm.
And he's making an announcement tomorrow because his executive order ends this week. So he's making an announcement tomorrow. He met with the president today, and he's going to come out and say what's going to open and everything. So these are some of the proposals that were drafted today and recommendations and guidelines that were brought up in the meeting he had with this task force.
Oh, great.
As far as opening up theme parks and things like that. So for theme parks, I wanted to go through the guidelines with you and with our listeners so they can hear for themselves what the proposed guidelines are. So here it is. Tape marking off 6 feet apart in ride attraction queues. So there'd be a 6-foot marker for the queues, so people are 6 feet apart.
So if they do that, 6 feet apart, Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, the lines will go all the way down Main Street.
Well, hold on. Staff to regularly wipe down surfaces at random. Phase 1 and 2, staff who are 65 plus are encouraged to stay home. So I don't think they're going to be bringing back any employees that are over 65. I don't think they can have age discrimination, but it says encouraged to stay home. All employees required to wear face masks. Touchless hand sanitizer at each ticketing entry and turnstile. Touchless hand sanitizer at each ride, attraction, entry, and exit. Well, I guess we know where all the hand sanitizer is going to be because I sure as heck can't find it. Temperature checks for staff prior to shift. Anything above 100.4, they cannot come to work. All employees with flu-like symptoms are advised to stay home. Wipe down all railings and surfaces after every use. Well, they're going to be very busy wiping constantly because I don't know what that means by after every use. So after every... Like if you go on a ride, the staff has to wipe down like every car and railing. I mean, they're going to be busy little bees, but I would suggest if people are going to go to the parks, bring your own sanitary, like disinfecting wipes and do it yourself. I would, not depend on other people to do it for you. Phase 1 is 50% capacity. And then phase 2 is 75% capacity. So I don't know the dates of phase 1 or phase 2, but in phase 1, they're going to be at 50%. I don't know how they're going to. Now, obviously, with travel bans from Europe and Asia, that's going to cut down drastically on the number of people. So I don't know if it's going to be first come, first serve basis. If it's going to be annual pass holders get the first option.
Well, some of these,
park, I'm not sure. What
some
if you
of
go
these,
there and they tell you, sorry, we're full. Are they going to do pre-sales?
Well, these guidelines, one of them, this 65 and is it 65 and above the workers?
Yeah. Yes.
What about grandparents coming with their families? A lot of these Disney trips.
No, that's for workers. Workers.
Yeah, but
all these guidelines are for workers, not for guests.
Well, yeah, but a lot, if they're recommending for workers, would you go if you were over 65? Would you go to the park as a guest? If they're saying workers that age shouldn't be there?
They're probably going to say if you're over 65. I mean, they can't really, keep people out because of their age.
Yeah.
I don't think. But they're probably going to discourage people from coming. If they're over 65 or high risk, they're probably going to say, enter at your own risk kind of thing. We encourage you not to come.
And, this 50% and then 75%, we really, there's on occasion, rare occasions, but it happens, Disney reaches capacity. But on an average Saturday, we really don't know ourselves what level of capacity they are at. On an average Saturday, are they at 75, 50, 85, 90? We really don't know. All the times I've gone to Disney, I've heard about these capacities. I've never experienced it. I've never been turned away from any of the parks because of capacity. So,
well, I know you've been to the parks, and I've been to the parks.
Yeah.
where it was so crowded, you literally could not like turn around.
Yeah, but
I mean,
they weren't turning
you had to,
people
like,
away
move
though.
no, they weren't, and that
So
I would think would be close to
and
full when it's so crowded that you just can't even,
oh yeah,
not move with the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, you
and
can't even like move 3 feet around you.
the most crowded, condensed area, in my opinion, out of all of Walt Disney World Orlando is that little section at Epcot when you walk by Mexico. It is the biggest bottleneck out of all the parks. I know there's a lot of other bottlenecks, but that's the worst.
Well, Main Street too is pretty
Main
bad.
Street can be bad, but that one in Main Street, there's places to dart in. When you're at Epcot in the World Showcase, you go by Mexico, there's not, you're kind of stuck. It's really rough. So what I would like to know, if anybody knows, let us know in the comments. On an average Saturday during the summer, at what percentage capacity are the parks at? Because what I'm wondering is, Kathy, is 50% going to be noticeable for us? Would 50% capacity be what they do at one of the special events, the ticketed events at night? I don't know.
I think 50% will be noticeable, but 75% might not be that
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah.
But 50% will be noticeable. Now, these are just recommendations that the task force has presented,
but
presenting to the governor.
But on the task force were representatives from Disney.
Right.
So Disney
That doesn't mean he's going to agree with it, though. He
Yeah.
might say, no, that's too many people. You need to start at 25% instead of 50. He might say that. So we'll see what happens. I don't see anything. I've read several articles from different blogs. I don't see, and also from some news sources as well, I don't see anything about guests being required to wear masks or have their temperature taken or anything like that. It's all about the cast members. So maybe they've tabled that idea and they're like, we can't go around checking everybody's temperature because, the heat could change your body temperature and it gives you a false sense. And I'm really surprised they're not making guests wear masks, though. Maybe that's going to change, but I don't see that in any of the articles I've read. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen that, which is kind of surprising to me.
The thing about guests wearing masks, that might be something that you find in a local ordinance. It may not be Disney required. Disney may be expecting local governments to order masks so that they don't have to go heavy-handed on people. They can say, well, it's not us, it's the county. I'm going to wear my mask. I will be wearing my mask when I go back to Walt Disney World, I think.
Well, you'll have to go back but now somebody had put on Facebook that they talked to somebody at Universal and that Universal is opening June 1st. And
this is rumored, though.
I've said rumored. I've said before that I feel June 1st is when Disney's going to open. I said that a few weeks ago just because it's kind of official, not really officially summer, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's like the first month in summer, and the numbers are going down in Florida. Almost by half from their top part. So the numbers are going down, and it is getting warmer. So I think that's going to be a factor too. So we'll see what happens with that. But they're really right now, from the recommendations I see, they are really regulating the cast members and their behavior. And like I said, if you're going to go to the parks, I would bring your own. Now, they're going to have hand sanitizer at every ride, but I personally would not just rely on hand sanitizer. Washing your hands, I think, is better. So I would wash your hands whenever you get off a ride. I would go wash your hands and use sanitizer. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but to me, washing hands is better than hand sanitizer. And I would bring your own stuff too, if you can. Bring your own hand sanitizer. Wear a mask. Bring your own Lysol wipes and wipe everything down. I mean, I would just be extra careful. I'm sure Disney is going to do everything they can to keep the place as clean as possible. But you need to also take personal responsibility if you're going to go. And, when you leave the park, change your clothes, take a shower when you get home from the parks. All that kind of stuff can make a difference. I would wear a mask, though. I agree with you. I wonder if they're going to allow people to wear masks. If the cast members are wearing them, then I'm assuming they'll allow guests to wear them too if they want to.
I think Disney will be selling masks like they do in Japan.
You never know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They have to design them. And there are some people making Disney-themed masks, like separate companies. But maybe they're designing them now and they're going to have them for sale at the Emporium. You never know. Now, here's the recommendations for restaurants. Okay. Paper disposable menus. Encourage takeout and online orders.
Yeah.
Touchless sanitizer at the entry. Phase 1 and 2, Staff who are 65 plus are encouraged to stay home. So are they not going to hire them back, or what does that mean?
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer at every table. Boy, I hope Disney is going to get a lot of hand sanitizer, because they are going to go through it like crazy,
Well,
and I
at
cannot
every
find it
table,
anywhere.
the thing about
At
hand
every
sa-
table.
well, maybe Disney's making it. I don't know, but when they say hand
Maybe.
sanitizer at every table, I don't
Yeah.
want some community bottle that I got to pick up to use. I would want something that's like I put my hand under it and it automatically squirts it out.
Well, they're talking about at the rides, touchless sanitizer at the entries. Now, that doesn't mean they can't force you to use it. So don't get a false sense of security where everybody is going to adhere to these guidelines. Not everybody is going to go in a restaurant and use the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
They might forget, or they might be like, screw you, I'm not going to do
Yeah.
it. And so don't assume everybody is going to be as safe as you are. You have to take
That's
personal
right.
responsibility and take care of yourself and your family. Okay. All employees required to wear face masks at the restaurants. Temperature check.
Face masks, cast members wearing face masks only at restaurants?
And in the park.
Okay.
All employees are going to have to wear them.
I got to
and
tell you,
temperature
here in Florida, it's hot already, and we're not in the hottest time of the summer. And when I wear my mask into stores, going from the car into a store, it's rough because it's so hot. To wear a face mask all day in the Florida heat in August is going to be rough for everyone. It's going to be rough.
But they're not forcing guests at this point. It's only cast members have to wear them. Temperature checks before your shift. Anybody with flu-like symptoms, stay home. Doors to be wiped regularly. All staff behind the counters must wear gloves, except for bartenders. But bartenders have to sanitize their hands after making every drink order. Seated tables to be 6 feet apart. Phase 1, limit restaurant and bar capacity to 50%. Phase 2, limit bar and restaurant capacity to 75%.
What are they going to do?
And then we'll get into some other guidelines.
What are they going to do on the rides?
Well, let's see if we get to that.
I'll tell you. You know what's going to disappear? I'll tell you what's going to disappear. Single riders are going to disappear, because if you're a single rider, they fit you in a car with somebody else on the ride. Single riders are going to disappear.
Well, I don't know how they're going to do the rides, or even if they're going to dress it, because some rides like Haunted Mansion or Slinky Dog, you sit 2, sometimes 3 next to each other. At least 2. Most rides, there's very few rides where you just sit by yourself.
I ride.
Most rides are 2 people.
They are, or sometimes 4, like on Test Track. I ride single rider all the time on a lot of rides, and you're always sitting with strangers. There's no way people want to sit with strangers on a vehicle right now. No way.
Well, let's see what they do. If they're at 50% capacity, they might only put one person on a thing. But if you have a little kid, your little kid's going to want to sit with you, obviously. So I haven't seen anything about how they're going to address people sitting on a ride. So let's see. Now there's more guidelines here. There's a lot. So it says here, for housekeeping services to be limited and allow for minimal guest and employee exposure. Phase 1, promote, if available, mobile check-in. So somebody had talked about that on Facebook already on the Disney app. They're only doing mobile check-in for the most part right now, where you check in on the app and now you can open your door with your phone, which is so cool. You don't even need a room key. And now they're doing, I think for phase 1, mobile check-in only, where you just check in on the phone, you go right to your room. So that eliminates dealing with a person at the front, I guess. Housekeeping services only clean upon request or when the guest departs.
Okay.
This is all phase 1. Allow employees to work from home if not playing a critical role in serving guests. So I don't know how many Disney jobs other than executive level can be from home.
There's a lot of office jobs. They have a lot of office jobs.
I'm saying other than office work. I don't know about any jobs.
Not many.
Yeah, it's all like in person.
Yeah.
Okay, phase 1 only. We're still in phase 1. Only deliver room service to guests' doors, so you cannot open the door and go in the room. Provide self-parking. Promote social distancing for all guests and staff. Recommended touchless sanitizer at entry. Increase cleaning service, additional sanitation services through cleaning companies. And again, phase 1 and 2, anybody over 65 encouraged to stay home. So here are the mandates. I don't know how this is different than recommend. I guess this is like absolutely
Yeah, it's not an option. You've got to do
not an
these.
option.
Yeah.
And some of these are, I'm repeating myself. Employees have to wear face masks, hand sanitizer at entry to be in plain visible sight. Temperature checks for staff. All employees with flu-like symptoms stay home. Front desk to sanitize themselves on a regular basis. Consistent cleaning of all guest areas. So I'm imagining they're going to really beef up their cleaning, their janitorial department, and maybe even, hire more people for that, because they are going to be on double time as far as that goes.
Another thing, I wonder how it would work to ride the Skyliner.
Well, they might. Let's see if that they might not use that right now.
I don't know.
Or buses for that matter. How are they going to?
Well, buses they can limit. I guess you can get a lot of people on a bus, but on the Skyliner, I don't
have to limit it. Maybe two per car.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, front desk is going to utilize sneeze guards. These are mandated things now. Yeah. These are things that have to happen.
Yeah.
Remove all service items in guest rooms to include glassware, coffee cups, etc. Mini bars not to be stocked. Do not offer self-food service. So what does that mean? Like a buffet?
Yes.
Or maybe when you're at like a value resort and they have those cabinets where you walk in and grab the food yourself.
Oh, you know what you won't be able to get anymore? You won't be able to buy those refillable mugs that you get at the resorts because you can't use the self-serve drinks.
That just doesn't sound like fun. Space pool furniture according to distancing guidelines. Pool gates and pool chairs to be sanitized regularly. Door handles, elevator buttons, and railings to be sanitized regularly. Remove all coffee makers from guest rooms.
Wow.
Remove all guest collateral items except for those that are single use. So what would that be? Is that like soaps and things?
Yeah, and in the resorts, I'm thinking, most of the food courts are the same, and most of the food courts, you get your own drinks, your own coffee. Yeah. You just get a cup, and there is and a huge chunk of all the food courts in all the hotels is self-serve. So that's all. I don't see how this is going to work. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, do not offer self-food, but maybe drinks are different. But maybe they'll let you still get your own drinks. Sanitize guest keys before and after each. Well, they should do this anyway. Sanitize bell carts after each use. Okay, so some of them are guidelines. That's it. Some of them are, and that was from Blog Mickey. They have the most comprehensive list, and I put that in the Facebook group. So some of them are mandates.
Yeah.
Some of them are requests. So I'm sure they'll come out. We'll probably do another podcast tomorrow or Thursday with the official, dates. I'm assuming Governor DeSantis and Disney are going to be announcing very quickly how the parks are going to operate. Personally, if it was me now, I'm sure you'll go up there as soon as it opens just to see what it's like.
Yes, I will.
We're only 3 hours away by car.
Yeah.
But I personally, if you have a family, I would not go to Disney right now. It just does not sound like a lot of fun.
It sounds like it would not be fun. And I must say, when I go up there, I'm going to be up there as soon as I can when they open up. There's no doubt about it. And I'm wondering, I'm going to wear my mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, are they going to have the barbershop open up on Main Street? Because I haven't had a haircut in like 2 months because of all this. But I would like to be able to wear long sleeves to keep.
Well, why?
Because a lot of times kids cough and breathe on your arms.
Like when lightweight. Long sleeves. Something lightweight.
I've had many kids cough on my arm that I'm not, not our kid, but I'm talking about other people's kids when I'm in line. And I don't care what you say, when people are tired all day, the social distancing is going to go out the window with kids. The kids wander around like zombies sometimes, and they stray away from their parents, and because they're tired, they don't know what's going on. It seems, I don't know. This seems crazy.
Well, if I had kids, I honestly would not bring them right now because there's too many rules, and I think it's going to be very
little
difficult
kids
to get young children to.
Our daughter's an
rules.
Adult, so I would take our daughter. She's an adult, but a little kid.
I mean, like little kids under 5 years old. Kids that aren't as great at taking direction or maybe don't understand.
Is there anything there about the character meets?
Nothing that I've read so far, but I'm guessing. You have to understand too. If somebody's wearing a mask, that's a good thing, and if they're wearing gloves. But if you have gloves on and you touch a contaminated surface, your gloves are now contaminated. So seeing people in gloves, I'm glad they're using them with food. They should always wear that anyway with food. But gloves are not always super sanitary. It's just like adding another layer of skin to your hands. I mean, they can get contaminated as well.
You can touch your face with them. And some of these attractions, For example, the carousel in Fantasyland, you've got to climb up there and immediately put your hands on the
Yeah.
pole that everyone's been on. Also, a lot
That's
of
why you got to bring your own wipes
Yeah,
and wipe everything down.
that's right. If they
This just
close
doesn't sound like a good time.
if they don't have the character meetups, which I can't imagine how, that is a lot of park capacity that's out on the streets as opposed to off where the characters are. So even though you've reduced capacity, because the character meetups that holds many people throughout the day, those people won't be in those areas. They'll be out walking around. So even though you have a reduced crowd capacity, you could actually have increased crowds walking around the park because there's some attractions where people won't be.
Well, I think the crowds are going to be low. I would be surprised if they even hit 50%.
I think people are going to go like mad.
Well, locals will go, but I don't think people are going to drive in or fly in from far away. I think they're going to wait, which I think they should. Disney is very expensive, and I would not want to go there and spend a lot of money. Now, we go for the day or whatever, it's different, but I would not fly in or drive in and stay on property for days and days with these many restrictions in place. I agree. And then you're worried the whole time, am I going to get sick or something? So they might not even reach 50%. I'm sure everybody that lives locally is going to go a lot because they've been cooped up.
Yeah.
And people that live in Florida are going to go, but I'm guessing the majority of the people that go are going to be Florida residents.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's just my theory, my thinking. And, it'll be interesting to see when you do go, what the crowd is like and how they're going to handle that. Are they going to allow annual pass holders to go? I'm assuming they will. They're going to want to make some money though.
Yeah.
So are they going to do a pre-sale of tickets? Because what if you drive 5 hours? They're going to have to give precedence to hotel guests.
Yes.
They're going to have to do that because if you're staying there, you're paying money to stay there. You have to be able to get into the park. So we'll see I'm sure they're working out all those details.
And at 50% capacity, to get into the Magic Kingdom is a mile from the transportation center. So you can either get there by monorail or by boat. And they've got to reduce the crowds on the monorails and on the boat. So once you get to the transportation center, how long is it going to take to get a ride across to the Magic Kingdom?
I personally feel 50% capacity is too high. I think it should be like 35% because I think the only way you can control this environment is through crowd control. If you have less people in the park, it's going to be a lot easier to control these other situations as far as cleaning.
Yeah.
But if if it's really busy, the cast members are not going to be able to keep up with all this. I mean, I feel bad for them. They're now on top of their job. They got to clean everything constantly.
Well, it looks like
they hire extra people to do
that. It looks like that Walt Disney World Orlando is going to open up long before Disneyland.
Well, I think you're right because I think that California, you have a different type of governor. He's, politically different. And I think California, from everything I've seen, they are
it's a whole other situation. Yeah, much more strict than Florida.
Yeah. And I feel that Governor DeSantis is gearing up to he's going to be making an announcement. And I think he's definitely going to start announcing things opening up slowly, which is the way it should be, do it a little slowly. But I think Disney, they're allowing people to book reservations, which we've said a couple podcasts ago. So I think they're definitely going to be open.
Well,
June 1st.
I am going to go to Disney World the first Saturday that they reopen. I'm going to go.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, and I wonder how it's going to work with our annual passes because
are they charging us still?
Well, we were charged in April. We get charged on like the first of the month. So we were charged for April. We were not refunded, which we should have been, but we were not. And we'll see if they charge us this week for May. Now, they're not supposed to charge us until they open again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll start charging automatically as soon as,
that sounds like a lot of confusion, too. If they stop charging people, your pass may not be computerized valid. Even though you have time left, I would be very upset if I go to the park and they tell me,
have to call and make sure.
Oh, well, we didn't charge you this month, so it's not my fault they didn't charge. Exactly. We pay monthly. We pay monthly on our annual passes. So, well, this sounds like a lot of confusion. I think it sounds like too many people, and it's going to be total chaos. I think it will be total chaos.
Let's see. I think
we'll see.
that it's surprising I think the crowd level is a little too high, but they can. Magic Kingdom, I think, can have like, let's say it's 100,000. I'm not sure what their capacity is.
I hear different numbers. You hear different numbers.
I think 50% is a little too high. Personally, like I said, I think it should be 35 at the most, because even 50% is a lot of people.
Well, think about it this way. Think about it this way. If you go to Rope Drop and you're among the first group to get into the park, the park might only be at like 5 or 2% capacity, and Main Street is always crowded.
I really feel that it's going to be a lot of locals are going to go in Floridians immediately, right away. But as far as people flying in, booking trips, I really think people are going to wait. And I think they should wait. I think you should book it for next summer.
You know what you may see?
Over, it sounds like no fun.
Another thing too, nothing there about parades. When they have parades, people group together throughout the route of the parade.
What about the Halloween parties?
Well, those are lower crowd. The candy. Oh, you can't do the candy.
They have the Halloween parties are supposed to start mid-August.
Yeah.
Remember, they're starting them earlier.
Yeah.
They've already sold tickets to the event. So are they going to continue with those? Because people conglomerate for the parade. And you're right. They have those huge barrels of free candy. People, I guarantee you that's not going to happen.
I can't imagine.
Not going to happen.
I cannot imagine.
All these people reaching in.
No way.
Grabbing candy out of a thing. Well, or the cast members give it to you. They do hand it to you. So maybe they'll do it that way, where they'll probably put gloves on them and have them hand it to you and put it in the bag for you. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, if they do social distancing, so you're going to start social distancing when you're waiting for the tram in the parking lot to the transportation center. People
I don't know how they're going to do that.
Come on, it's just no. It's going to be a total madhouse.
I don't think they can do that. Like, what do they do about the security area where everybody's in line? I'm assuming they're going to make everybody stand back. It's going to be crazy.
One problem with all of this involves security, because those security guards search everyone's bag. So they're going to be putting their hands and their arms in everyone's bag all day. That doesn't sound good in this climate.
Well, let's see I'm sure they'll be wearing gloves. I think they wear gloves.
Yeah, but if the gloves, if they put their gloves in 1,500 diaper bags and then they get to you, do you want those gloves in your purse?
I mean, if this virus is as contagious as they say, which I'm sure it is, say you have somebody with a backpack and they have a makeup mirror.
Oh my goodness.
And they have the virus and they don't know it, and they've been using that makeup mirror, and the security guard has a glove on, but he reaches in and touches all that. And then he sticks his hand in your bag.
Crazy.
And now it's all over your makeup mirror.
Exactly. So this is nuts. The security is nuts.
I would advise people,
bagless.
If you are concerned at all, definitely go without a bag if you can. Go without a bag.
I always try. I always try to go without a backpack.
You're going to have to this time. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
Don't go in with a bag or purse if you can help it.
Yeah.
At all. You have to take your own precautions, is my advice, if you're going to go to the parks. Like I said, though, but if you're traveling and booking a trip, I would personally wait so you can go and be free and have fun and enjoy the parks the way they're meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah, I would agree.
But that's just my own opinion. But you have to take your own precautions to protect yourself. Don't assume that the theme parks are going to do everything to protect you. They're going to do as much as they can. That's for sure. I feel bad for the cast members. This is a huge responsibility for them to take on. I'm sure they want to get back to work, but now on top of greeting guests, they have to wipe down and spray rides, clean railings. Now maybe they'll bring in, like I said, extra janitorial people to do that for them. We'll see what happens. When they open up, you'll go and you'll do a vlog on it, and you'll see what's going on. I'm sure you and everybody else that's a vlogger
I'll be one of the 2,800 vlogs about the reopening of Walt Disney World.
Yes. Yes, there'll be many, many. Now, are you going to cry like a lot of them? I'm sure will.
I won't. No, I will not be.
When you get on Main Street,
I will not be crying. No.
Which park do you want to go to first?
Oh, it's Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom for sure.
And if you want to go to Batu or Epcot, I know you like Epcot a lot.
I
think Magic Kingdom's the best one to go to first. That's where everybody's going to want to be.
Yeah, no, I think I will go to Magic Kingdom first. I think they should only open up Magic Kingdom and do a test run and get their system down before they open up all the parks anyway. They really should do that.
If it was me and I was the manager, president of the parks, I would open for the first 2 weeks of June or the last 2 weeks of May to June. I would say hotel guests only.
Well,
But when you
you
go
know
to
what?
book
I
a
would do something
hotel,
different. I would do
there's a
something
lot of
different.
openings though. There's a lot of rooms available still.
I would want to do some test runs. I would open up the if I were the guy running Disney, Bob Iger,
Yeah.
which I'm not, but if I were, this is
No,
what I
but
would
they're
do.
Josh runs the Walt Disney Parks.
Oh, okay. Well, this is what I would
Josh
do.
DeArmo.
What I would do is I would have a test run for a few days, and the only guest allowed in the Magic Kingdom would be cast members and their families, and do a test run and make sure they have
Hey, bye.
this new crazy system down instead of opening up to regular guests and have chaos. Let the
might
cast
do
members
that
be the
this
guinea
month.
pigs.
They might do that.
Well, they
this
can't
month,
do
and
it this month. They cannot do that. They can't do a test run until they get the okay to go into this phase that allows them to have
Right.
people in there. So they couldn't
That's
do
true.
it. They couldn't do it now if they wanted to.
Well, let's see
But
what
that's
the
what I would do.
governor says tomorrow. And they did have a video that a news crew had a helicopter and they were filming a cast member cleaning Toy Story Land, and they had a huge hose, like a high pressure cleaner. I don't know if there was any disinfectant in it,
Mhm.
but it was like a pressure cleaner thing, and they were cleaning the streets because it was raining. There was some dirt there, and they were doing that. So I'm assuming they're getting ready. And I think it's safe to assume, because the parks have been closed for over a month, that any virus that was there is probably not an issue at this point.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
But bringing
they still, I'm
thousands,
sure, are gonna
bringing
clean
thousands
everything.
in. When I go, when they
Yeah.
first open, I'm not going to eat anything, and the only thing I will drink will be like bottled stuff, like bottled water, bottled soda, mostly bottled water. I'm not going to eat anything, and I'm just going to drink bottled drinks. That's what I'm going to do.
A lot is
Yeah.
going to happen
Yeah.
as far as the virus goes over the next month. It's been very hot here. It's not raining very much right now in Florida, not as much as usual. Usually it rains a lot in the spring. So the numbers, I think, a lot can happen in a month. A month
Oh, yeah.
ago, we were peaking with this virus. The numbers were really high. And now in Florida, they're almost, they're down quite a bit. I think in a month's time, they're going to be even low. Right now, you're getting 700 to 800 new cases a day. At the peak, we were at 1,400
Yeah.
a day. So I think by June 1st, I'm guessing it's probably going to be hopefully maybe 200 to 300 a day, which is significantly lower. Not that it's good, but I think like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I'm guessing the trend will be with the heat and the sun and everything. I think that'll help, and I think the trend will be the numbers much less. And I think limiting the crowds. But they might not have parades. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of things at Disney that might not even be there, like parades, character meetings. So it might not even be fun to go right now. I mean, you're not getting it. Now, the question is, since they're not going to have possibly character meetings and parades, are they going to lower their prices at all, since you're not getting the full experience for the money?
Well, you're getting smaller. You're getting a smaller crowd.
Well, you're getting less activities to enjoy for your money. I'm sure Disney's not going to change their price, because Epcot is half of it's under construction and they're still charging you more money.
Absolutely.
So they should charge a little less, because you're not getting the full experience for your dollar.
Yeah.
You're not having. They might not do a nighttime show now. They haven't made any decision on this, but when they do the nighttime shows, everybody conglomerates on Main Street and around the castle.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll do that. I don't think doing fireworks or any of that makes sense. No, because the crowds, just like the parades. No. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there the first Saturday. I'm going to get there the first Saturday at Rope Drop is what my plan is. If I can get in, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go the first Saturday at Rope Drop is my plan. I'll leave super early because I think I need to get to it could be like the opening of Galaxy's Edge, like crazy lines to get in.
Well, we should think about booking you a room like that Friday night.
I don't want to stay in a hotel. I don't know.
Get a room pretty inexpensive right now.
I don't know if I want to stay there. I don't know if I want to stay there. No, I'd rather just leave early.
You can walk around the resort and see what's going on and do that.
I want to see what they're doing before I stay there. I don't want to stay right now. No, I don't want to stay.
Okay.
No, not for me.
All right, so it's up to you. You can drive up early in the morning. I'll be here. I have to say though, because I'm a high risk person, I'm a little nervous about you going. I have to be honest. So you have to really you have to wear a mask, and I know you're extra careful always. You've been really good, and just be extra safe. I think wearing a mask will help, because if somebody coughs or sneezes in your direction,
it can only help.
Protect you.
It can only help.
So anyway, we will see. So those are the guidelines and mandates that have come out from the task force meeting so far. And we'll do another podcast this week to go over what
Yeah.
the governor has said and
Sure.
the things that are definitely going to happen. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Please feel free to leave your comments. Tell us what you think. Here's what I want to know. Would you book a Disney trip for this summer with all these conditions and mandates in place and the possibility of no parade, no night show, no character meeting, possibly, we don't know for sure. Is it worth going right now, or do you want to wait till next year during the 50th anniversary to book everything? Let us know. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the parks hopefully soon.